Hey, what's going on YouTube or rather TikTok? This is Marcus, and I figured. Hey, what's going on YouTube or rather TikTok? This is Marcus, and I figured I'd go ahead and do a quick live here. Go ahead and take my glasses off and kind of get acclimated. So hopefully you guys are doing pretty good. I don't see myself staying on here too terribly long because just getting better at doing these little lives here. But it seems as though I always feel like I have a lot to talk about until I get on camera. But with that being said, maybe get right at it. So first of all, I want to kind of talk about some of the updates that are going on with the book. So for one, I did a post on on my Instagram. I tried doing it on Facebook, and I didn't get a whole lot of responses. I'm thinking about changing my book from one book to two, making it 2 volumes, because the word count is about 150 words so far, even with me doing some editing here and there, and technically it's enough for 3 novels, since the normal novel count is about 40,000 words. But the way that I got it written, I have it written to where if I just stopped at 40,000 words, it was just going to be an awkward point of the story, and it's not going to have like a definitive endpoint. So I'm really leaning towards making it into 2 volumes. The first one would be kind of the shorter volume, which is going to encompass one part of the journey of the hero, and the second one is going to be the epic one, the book cover that you saw. So I did some sketches on my book cover, and I think it's going to turn out pretty good. I'm right now. I'm probably going to after this live, I'm going to go to the store, get some coloring, some crayons or something like that, because I did the sketch, and I'm just going to go look for an actual graphic artist to be able to complete it. So appreciate a couple of you people jumping in. So just to kind of give you a quick synopsis for those of you people who are new here, I am a self-published author. Been writing books since before COVID, but I published my first book right before the pandemic. It's called Fireline, Revival of the Dracocernentia. And just to kind of recap, it's about a black man who was raised by a white family, but he finds out that he is descended from a group of warriors called Dragon Moors. So in this story, he finds out more about his lineage, and he basically fights white supremacy. So that is basically the consensus of the first book. The second book is more of a 2-parter journey with the current sequel trilogy that I'm working on right now, because he is coerced by a young lady to go look for a legendary sword forged by one of his ancestors, the Golden Dragon Moor. And so he ends up going to England, and then he goes to Africa, and then with this current book, he also continues his travels to Asia before coming back home. So I'm not going to say too much. With this current book, he also continues his travels to Asia before coming back home. So I'm not going to say too much about the book. If you want to know any more details about my characters, you guys can check out my YouTube. It's under Marcus Bowden, I believe. And you can also check out my Instagram, my Facebook. And you'll see a couple of things that are, talk more about the characters. And so I want to emphasize on one character, and then after that, I actually want to talk about another character that I was looking after, and I thought that it was actually one of my best writing, if I do say so myself. So one character that I want to talk about is the lead character's sister by the name of Emma Ayoke. Now, this woman used to be a bad guy, or one of the bad guys in the first book, but she becomes a good guy, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but what I will say is that what she represents is she represents what happens when you've been indoctrinated into the society until somebody actually educates you on who you are. So one of the reasons why I enjoy writing this character is because I think a lot of times in writing, we have a tendency to want to either make people overtly good or overtly bad, and there's no gray area. There isn't any complexity of the characters. But with this character, Emma, what I find fascinating about Emma is the fact that she was fed, all these lies by the people who raised her. And so, because of that, she had little to no interaction of black people except for what was being presented and what was shown to her. So, when she finally gets a chance to actually immerse herself with her own people, she kind of has this awkward stage where she doesn't know what to do because she was never raised by them. So, she's essentially relearning how to acclimate herself into society and learning how to love herself. In the beginning, she had a lot of prosthetics. She wore lace fronts, she wore weaves, and she had this like silk black fake hair. And then when she embraces herself and allows herself to burn, which I'll get into in a second, then she becomes more natural. She cuts her hair essentially, and then she grows it back, and she's embracing like her curls. And I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say that she has mixed heritage, so therefore the color of her hair is not completely black. Now, her alter ego is Blue Phoenix, because blue is one of her favorite colors, and she represents the Phoenix Moors in my series. And so I'm going to expound on that a little bit. So in my universe, the men are considered the Dragon Moors, which they have the power of dragons, and the women are considered to be the Phoenix Moors, which they have the power of the Phoenix. And so take it as what's going on, Mike? It's been a while since I saw you. I missed them good old days when I was teaching. And now that he's on, hopefully he's still hearing this and he can appreciate this. I actually got the inspiration of writing the books while we both were teaching sixth graders. So, real quick story. A lot of the kids were complaining because I was a writing teacher at the time and a coach. So the kids would say, "Hey, why do we need to learn writing? It's dumb. You know, we text now. No, nobody really writes letters." And eventually, some of the kids wanted to learn how to write cursive, so I taught them how to write cursive, even though we weren't really supposed to. But you know, what can you do, right? And even the kids wanted to have a spelling touch, which was really what can you do, right? And even the kids wanted to have a spelling touch, which was really I started writing the like my little format and write my characters, and I start like my little format and write my characters, and I start writing these scenarios, and I said, "Oh, this would be kind of cool." And then I didn't touch it again. And so, doing well with that. But anyway, to get back to it, so now I'm live. During our conference planning periods, every once in the blue moon, she'd teach me about ISBNs. Every once in the blue moon, she'd teach me about ISBNs, and she'd teach me about the editing process, and she taught me about word count, and she taught me about get 10 ISBNs. And I was like, I'm only going to write the book once, maybe twice. And from a prophetic type of genealogical sense, why he was chosen to be, this one that's going to liberate his people, and prophetic type of genealogical sense, why he was chosen to be, this one that's going to liberate his people, and is going to pretty much, and this is somewhat of a spoiler, but not really. He is descended from he is descended from a Shaws, were defeated by, I believe, Andrew Jackson. And so some of those Indians were forced to kind of relocate into Florida. So a lot of those Indians actually reacclimated with the other runaway Indian beast nurturing groups. So another one of my favorite characters that I'm going to talk about is a woman named Patricia. Her friends call her Pat Pat. Now, Patricia, another one of my favorite characters that I'm going to talk about is a woman named Patricia. Her friends call her Pat Pat. Now, Patricia is her daughter, and then they kind of develop this kind of her daughter, And then they kind of develop this kind of that is the black character. Once again was adopted by a white family. So he didn't really get the interaction of black people growing up. Once again was adopted by a white family. So he didn't really get the interaction of black people growing up like, most of us do. So when we can relate to each other and we can relate to you and that you're one of us, because otherwise we're going to be skeptical about who you are and your intentions with us. So then over this course, she becomes, she is attracted to him, but she also understands that, he is, it's saying that my device is overheating, so I'll have to cut this out fairly soon, but, we'll just kind of do what it do. So, but one of the things that she ends up doing with him is that she, eases his confidence a little bit. She kind of becomes that mother that he never had. Just to say, just relax. Just, you're good, and she also teaches him how to bring out a sarcastic, say, just relax. Just, you're good, and she also teaches him how to bring out a sarcastic side. So then he gets to a point to where, he, becomes a smartass. Beating yourself up over that one failure you had when you had about 100. Alright, sorry about that. My phone kind of overheat here, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to end this kind of quickly. I'm gonna try to end it quickly, but if it doesn't end quickly or whatnot, then it is what it is. So if the noise is a little, I'm gonna try to end it quickly, but if it doesn't end quickly or whatnot, then it is what it is. So if the noise is a little different, that's because I have it on full blast in here, sitting in my car. So, but one of the things I talked about with Pat is she allows him to make mistakes. And so to kind of reiterate the last thing that I said is I said that that she said that don't allow one failure to overshadow the 100 successes you had. And, and of course she, and the other thing about her too is that she's kind of a, and of course she, and the other thing about her too is that she's kind of a, she's an alcoholic. She's a functioning alcoholic. So, because she has a stressful job as a traveling nurse, she's, one of the two key components of her character is she always wears flip-flops every time she's at home, because that's just kind of what she does. It's kind of like with Mr. Rogers, where he used to, for those of you guys who are old enough to remember Mr. Rogers, he would always come inside his house and he'd always change his shoes and change his shirt. This live actually turned out to be a lot longer than I thought it would be. But I plan on doing this pretty much every Wednesday, every Thursday or so. I'm going to, for those of you guys who did miss the live, I'm going to post this on my Instagram. I'll post this on my YouTube. It's the live. I'm going to post this on my Instagram. I'll post this on my YouTube. And then after that, I'm just going to continue to keep doing these updates. So I am hoping to have at least the first volume of the book published and ready to be sold, probably in the middle, if not the beginning of the summer, probably the middle of summer before I go back to grad school. And depending on the reception I get, I may publish the second book a little bit sooner after that, or I might just wait maybe about a year or two before I publish the second book. But I wanted to just come in here just to chop it up with you guys. Thanks for you guys for being patient. I actually enjoy doing these little TikTok lives. So take care. Give me some feedback. And if you guys can do me a favor, come to my YouTube channel, like and share these videos. Come to my Instagram, like and share that as well too. And also with Facebook. And one last thing, I implore you guys, please do two things. Check out the other books. They're available at hard copy or Kindle. And please give me some feedback and let me know if you think that I should just make this into one big book, or if I should just do it into 2 volumes. So take care. I'm gonna go ahead and let this phone rest up, and I'll talk to you later.